Hello everyone, I'm Jenna Ryan. Welcome to Self Love You. Today's topic is gaslighting. We're going to talk about the intricacies of gaslighting. Gaslighting, it's taken me a long time to do this video just because it's really hard to explain. You know, it's easy to catch once you understand what gaslighting is, but as far as sitting down and creating a video, I can think of a lot easier things to talk about. However, it's very important that you understand what gaslighting is so that you can begin to clear yourself of toxic people. Because there may be people in your life right now who are gaslighting you, and it's such a subtle manipulation tactic that you may not even know it's happening. So you really need to know about this so that you do not get hoodwinked by narcissists in your midst. The problem is that if you've dated one narcissist, the chances are that you are queued up and programmed to tolerate narcissist abuse from others. So there's probably a very good likelihood that you have other narcissists in your life. That's just because you need to grow as a person, you need to love yourself more, and you need to understand what these manipulation tactics are, and you need to take action against them, and then you need to clear your life, and then you need to focus on yourself. And if you're being gaslighted, that means you're being manipulated. And if you're being manipulated, that means someone somewhere is sucking the blood out of you and sucking your energy and controlling you. So we don't want that. We want to clear your life away of all toxic people so that you can move on, build healthy relationships, and have a healthy life. And say goodbye to the narcissist dynamic. This is only a process that you're going through. It's a lower level of consciousness. As you begin to awaken to the manipulative tactics, you can begin to shut it down and know what's happening and also see what's going on around you. So gaslighting, like I said, is very subtle. It's sometimes very obvious, but most of the time it is subtle. So I'm going to give you some advice, some examples of gaslighting. One main example of gaslighting that's used in the narcissist relationship especially is future faking. Yes, future faking in and of itself is gaslighting. When you have someone who is saying things about the future that they are saying in order to manipulate you to commit at a higher level emotionally than what they really want you to commit at, or what they really are prepared to be able to back up. If they're writing checks that they cannot cash, they're writing blank checks, they're writing hot checks. This is a form of gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic used to get you to do something that you would not do otherwise. It came from the movie Gaslighting. There's a movie, I watched it. It's amazing. It's a really good example of what gaslighting is. I highly recommend that you watch that movie. It's an old-timey movie. Go watch it. Look up gaslighting. All I'm going to do, I'm not going to really describe it. I'm just going to really tell you examples of it. A lot of people don't do this. Okay. Any kind of lie. Okay, so future faking. If someone is future faking, saying, yeah, let's get together. Yeah, we're going to move in together. Or, yeah, I'm all in. Yeah. That, if they're not serious and they don't mean it and they don't plan to back it up and they know it, then that is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of lying, and it's a way to try to get you to detach from reality so that your reality is shaped into the illusion that the narcissist or toxic person wants you to believe. One of the, when I really understood what gaslighting was, I had a friend at the time who I thought was a relatively good friend. And when I caught her gaslighting, I was like, oh my gosh, she just gaslighted me. And I was like furious about it because someone who is gaslighting, that means they have other issues too. So it's kind of odd. You would never catch me gaslighting someone. I wouldn't even know how because I'm an empath, because I'm not manipulative. I'm not a liar. So someone that gaslights once, that means it's kind of a tell that they may have some other character flaws underneath the rest of their persona. So one of the things that this person did, I'll never forget, we were having chips. We were eating at a Mexican restaurant, real cute girl. And I was just talking about, she had just gotten back from her trip. And I was like, we were having margaritas. And I go, oh yeah, let me see your photos. And she goes, stop. Like I had just, really overreacted, as if I had just done something that was inappropriate. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, all I did was say, let me see the photos. And she just blew up at me. She just totally. Now, before I knew what gaslighting was, before I had a solid sense of self, before I healed my childhood wounds, before I knew who I was, I would have likely reacted like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I would have questioned myself. I would have doubted myself. I would have said, oh my gosh, I must really be outrageous to make somebody scream at me like that. And I really wouldn't have registered, hey, that person is the one that has the problem. I mean, that's how, if you have been abused in your past, that is how you see things. You see things through other people's eyes, and they're able to overreact and make you think that you're acting a way that you were never acting. Does that make sense? If it makes sense, leave me a comment. Okay. Acting like, another form of gaslighting is acting like an abuse situation never happened. Just pretending like it never happened. You know, you want to talk about it, you want to bring it up, you want to resolve it, but someone is acting like it never happened and just wanting to move on, and actually kind of giving you, kind of rolling their eyes for wanting to discuss it and follow it through to the end, or in any way making you doubt yourself or feel less than for needing resolution for the abuse that occurred, or even just something that bothers you. I mean, you're a human being. You have a right to not be happy with everything. You have a right to question things. You have a right to want resolution. That is your right as a human. And if someone wants to be in relationship with you, then they have to deal with you, and they have to talk to you, and they have to come to the plate. You have a right to request that. So someone who's acting like abuse never happened, or acting like a weird event never happened, and not wanting to discuss it, that's a problem. Someone who, let's say a narcissist cheated on you, and they act like what? They act like that shouldn't be a big deal. That shouldn't bother you. Oh, by the way, and they're just kind of going on like it's a conversation, and then acting like you have the problem for being upset for whatever it is that they're doing. That is called gaslighting. They're trying to change your reality so that you doubt yourself, so that you're wondering if what you're requesting is even sane. And you begin to think you're crazy, because if you do not have a solid sense of self and you do not understand what manipulation is all about, then you're going to be gaslighted all over town, and they're going to control everything about you, and they're going to carry you around like a bull ring, like put a ring on your nose and lead you around. So if you're just talking normally and someone overreacts and acts like you're the biggest creep in the world because you just like asked to see pictures, you know that you're being gaslighted. If you are setting a boundary, like let's say you're at a restaurant and someone's texting while you're having dinner, and it's been going on for like 15 minutes and you're kind of embarrassed and everybody's kind of staring, and you say, hey, can you please not talk on the phone right now? Can we have dinner? And they go, gah, and act like you are crazy for making that request. That's gaslighting. They're trying to get you to think that you have something wrong with you, that there is something wrong with the request that you are making. The truth is you have a right to request that someone focus during dinner. That's rude to text during dinner. It's not nice, and it should be done on a limited basis and only at the agreement of both parties. I mean, it's just rude. So you don't want, and then to have someone act like something's wrong with you because you're asking them to stop. No, that's gaslighting. Devaluation in and of itself is gaslighting. If someone is devaluing you after they have love bombed you and they were like, oh my gosh, you're the greatest thing on earth, and we could have the greatest life together, and then suddenly they're like, oh really? Yeah, I'm not too into that, or you're not that great, or devaluing you and making you feel like you know, you're not all that, when they've just been telling you you are all that. That's called devaluation, and that's called gaslighting. That's a form of gaslighting if you really think about it. People who say, I didn't say that, when clearly they said that, that is gaslighting. Anyone who you're in a close relationship with and they, they give you advice and they tell you to do this, that, and the other, and then you go out and do it, which you shouldn't be taking anyone's advice to that level anyway. And then you come back and say, I did what you told me to and it didn't work. And in fact, it caused these problems in my life. And then they say, I never told you to do that. And you're like, oh my God, yes, you did. So that's why you don't want to take other people's advice. You want to make up your own life, make up your own mind, and do your own thing. That's why you want to watch this video, so you know how to get in touch with yourself and how to make your own decisions. Someone who says, I told you that already. Okay, that happens in my job as a real estate agent. People are like, I told you, you're not listening. This doesn't happen often, but every once in a while I'll get a client. And it's like, okay, you didn't tell me, but that's gaslighting. But, I'm not here to call out my clients. But gaslighting is gaslighting. In a relationship, it can be abuse if someone's telling you that they told you not to do something, or they told you to do something, or they already told you and your dumb butt didn't figure it out. Well, that's devaluing you. That's one-upping you. That is gaslighting you. And you have to, with a client, you can't really do anything. You just have to go, okay, because it's a client. So you're making money out of the transaction. That's totally different. But if it's in a relationship and someone said, I told you, then you need to evaluate that relationship very, very closely. And it may not be a healthy one. Giving unwarranted advice. Someone who's like, sweetie, you don't really know how to do this. You need to do this, this, and this. You don't really know. You don't know. That's gaslighting. They're trying to get you to believe the lie that you don't really know what you're doing. And if you're not aware of this whole dynamic and you're not rooted and grounded in your truth, and you're somebody who was abused narcissistically as a child, then you may fall for this and be like, oh, okay, I don't know. What, tell me what to do because I don't know. Thank you. Well, don't feel that way. Gaslighting is a bad thing. And anyone who is gaslighting you needs to be out, because you can't fix unhealthy. You can't teach basic manners. It's rude to give unwarranted advice. It's rude to give unsolicited advice. It's rude to talk down to people. That's, gaslighting. And it's not even true. Let's see. What else we got? Disrespecting you and then acting like self-righteous when you call them out. That's the same thing as I was saying before. Let's see. Abusing you for years, then being surprised when you distance yourself. Like, people that are leading you down a path and then dropping you off at the end. That's the same thing as future faking. Gaslighting is a very real thing, and it's where people are trying to control you, and they want to put you in a position where you're not sure which end is up. And so they're creating your reality. The best example that I think I've given this whole video that really nails it the best is the one where I was sitting with my girlfriend and we were having chips, and I just barely said, let me see those photos, in a sweet, friendly, awesome way. And she just yelled at me like, chill out. And I was like, damn. She was gaslighting me. And I know that in the past, I might have taken that personally and thought, oh, I'm sorry. But instead of that, I was like, check, I know what you're doing. I'm not gonna play this game anymore. I mean, literally, that's the last time I saw her, because I don't put up with any kind of gaslighting. If I find out about it, you're out. I don't have time for gaslighting in my life, because I'm moving onwards and upwards, onwards to self-love. I love myself, and I deserve to be around people who respect me and don't lie to me, and who do not use gaslighting as a manipulation tactic. So if you have any examples of gaslighting, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.